नमस्ते विद्याम खुश रहिए आई JVN Muskan Kumari from the Department of Science and Technology and I am working as a assistant professor in JVWU University and the Faculty of Education and Technology. So today's I'm teaching you the uh, next session, which in the previous session I have already discussed about what is the basic introductions of the grid computing and why you are using the grid computing currently and what are the advanced technology which are using currently today. So now today I will discuss the next session. That session name is the benefits of the grid computing. Isn't it? So, for better understanding these all things, I just want to say a PPT or the word words to describe the better, and by using this, you can easily understand. And whenever you see this video, you are going to easily pick up the points or the highlighted words. Isn't it? So here this one is the PPT which I have told you to study that this thing again I just want to repeat one thing. So basic introduction to the grid computing. I have already told you about that. This is the computational grid. Why we are calling here the computational, because it is the combination of your hardware and the software, and this will form like a homogeneous clusters or the heterogeneous clusters also. In heterogeneous, the elements are different from one another, which are situated or the geographically located in the one locations or one network. And the preference of the grid computing, methods of the grid computing. So these all are already under discussed by using the word files which I will not myself presented. So here discuss one thing, that is the what is the performance of the grid computing, and this is the basically you can also include this into the manifesto of the grid computing. Like the what the performance of the grid computing, these all benefits are also taken for the benefits of the grid computing. The basic benefits of grid computing you can also describe by yourselves like what. Today's era, the grid computing is very high level usable. Why? Because it is inexpensive as compared to multiple technology or advanced technology like the cloud computing and all these, isn't it? So grid computing is basically very inexpensive and the difference here that what parallel computing, distributed computing, peer-to-peer computing, isn't it? This or not. Parallel computing means what? What you can say that about the distributed computing? Parallel computing that the all the tasks which is assigned to the computers that are working in the simultaneously or in the parallel form, parallel fashions, that is called as the parallel computing. Here is the distributed computing. Distributed computing means what? In a geographical locations, you have distributed the multiple systems in the one in a network. You are distributing all the computers in the multiple location and try to connect all the systems while using the communication channels and try to perform the same task or the different subtasks, isn't it? People often ask that what is grid computing, fancy new name for the concept of the distributed computing. It means that what grid computing is just like working as the distributed computing. So that is it, and the it is a fancy name. What fancy name? That is the name is the grid computing. Is that what grid computing is a fancy name of the distributed computing? And then in the general answer, there is no. It is not the fancy name of the distributed computing. Isn't it? Both are the different things. Distributed computing is most often concerned with the distributing of the load. It means what? You are properly arranged multiple computers in locations in the network or the geographical locations in that you are distributing the load of each isn't it? You are balancing the loads of each network or the nodes which are situated in that particular network clearly, clear, and distribute the load of each programs across the two or more portions. Okay. So peer-to-peer computing is what? Sharing the computer resources and service by direct exchange. It means what? There are two systems in peer-to-peer. You can also take the example of the client or server. That what client are sending some information to the server and server responding to that particular client for taking or receiving that information regarding that things. Isn't it? So peer-to-peer is same things that easily exchange the resources or the services directly by two systems or between the systems or the nodes. Computer can act as a client or server depending on the what role they are performing and for what role they are efficient for doing the task in that particular network. Okay, so now there are various methods of the field computing. First, distributed supercomputing. You can perform the task by using the distributed channel, distributed methods, and they are giving the high throughput computing. This is based on the on-demanding computing that whenever you have required, the users have required the spaces or storage for storing the data. They are using the grid computing, which is the part of the cloud computing, isn't it? Data intensive computing means what? You can upload or access or save the large amount of data. Whatever user wants to save the data, isn't it? In whatever the size of data, they easily can store that data while accessing or purchasing the storage with the read computing. This is the collaborative computing. Yes, it is a collaborative computing. Is it fine? Because we have already discussed a point that is the peer-to-peer computing, isn't it? Peer-to-peer computing means what? You are accessing the information from the both sides, exchanging the information from the both sides. You are collaborating to the both memories for the computer. So this is known as the collaborative computing and the logistical logistical networking. This is based on the cloud spreading. That is all the describing point of giver which I have already discussed. So let's see what is distributed supercomputing, combination of multiple high capacity resources on the computational grid into the single or virtual or in the distributed form. We can also use the single or the virtually we can connect it, isn't it? That is considered under the format of the cloud or the distributed supercomputing. Tackle problems that cannot be solved on a single system. Tackle problems. You have to tackle the problems which cannot be solved by a single system. For this, you must have deployed more than one system. High throughput computing uses the grid to schedule large number of loosely coupled. And what is here you can say that what is the loosely coupled? Loosely coupled in the sense the computers which are not directly connected to the each another to perform the same task, performing the same task. Then that is known as the loosely coupled. So grid is scheduled large number of them loosely coupled or independent tasks. Each nodes are performing their independent tasks with the goal of putting unused processes often to perform that particular task to a particular system. On-demand computing using read capabilities to meet short-term requirements. Suppose some users have required urgently to uploading some data or to purchasing some informations or the content from other things and you haven't much spaces or storage to save that data. So for doing this short term requirement to fulfill this short term requirements, you can use the grid computing storage data storage spaces for resources on which are locally accessible. Models real time computing demands. Various models which you can use for the grid computing technology that is based on your real time computing, isn't it? That is based on your time. Collaborative, collaborative concern primarily with the enabling and enhancing human-to-human interactions or the systems or system interaction or human-to-human interactions. Whatever the applications you are using, often structured in the terms of the shared spaces, isn't it? You are saying the spaces. Logistic data networking, global scheduling optimization of data movements. If here you can optimize your data, it means what? Optimization of data is that you have a large amount. Suppose you have 1 GB of data for storing. Then you are what? Optimize that. Optimizing the data in the sense that whatever the redundant data is allocated in that particular files, you are removing that all things and reducing that file size or compressing that into the a smaller size or the optimized of data movements can be easily done with the global scheduling. Contrast with the traditional networking is also done with the help of your multiple models of the storage resources called logistical because the analogy it bears with the system of warehouse and depots and distribution chain. Why we are saying that logistical? Logistical is basically analogy which bears the system of warehouse. System of warehouse in the sense what? Warehouse is the type of house where you are storing various amounts of data and depots or distribute that channels for storing and receiving that data. Isn't it? This is the one thing that who needs quick computing? A chemist may utilize hundreds of processors to screen thousands of compounds. A chemist who are using the hundreds of the processors to screen thousands to screen thousands compounds per hour. Team of engineers can also use the grid computing for taking the pool of the resources to analyze the terabytes or expand their storage spaces, isn't it? Metro logistic, logistic, metro logistic to visualize. Meteorologists can also use this technology to visualize or analyze all the petabytes climate data or enormous weather computations on the list of the computational isn't it? I will discuss this by one example. Tiffany Marshall NASA, the research scientist, collected the microbiological samples in the tide waters around the Guadalupe and Virginia. This is done with the help of the great computing technology. She needed the high performance microscope located at the National Center of Microscopy and Imaging Research. This is the place where that microscope is situated, and this is in the University of California. San She sent the samples to the San Diego and used the Nepalese study science grid and information power grid to view and control the output which they have gathered via using the microscope from the base envelopes in land. Thus, in addition to viewing the samples, she could note that very researchers like microscope and the microscope produced a huge data set images which is using the technology of the grid computing. This data set was stored using the storage resources brokers or you can say the storage spaces and the motion was able to run algorithm and after getting all the data sets huge amount of data sets you can implement the multiple algorithm to optimize that data sets, isn't it? So this is the run the algorithm on these big data sets while watching the results in the real time in the real results. Okay, so this is basically and after viewing these all the points you can easily understand that what is the basic benefits of this all things. Okay, so this is that things and previously I have shared the references that you can take that references use multiple sites for taking the depth knowledge regarding this weight commuting. Okay, thank you.